The SCW Farewell Tour rolls through the Royal Rumble predictions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia this upcoming Saturday, where we can see Sami Zayn potentially winning his first WWE Championship. He's going against the new champion, Drew McIntyre. We've got AJ Styles putting his career on the line against Gunther, the Ring General. And yes, we've got not one, but two Royal Rumble matches. We've got the Women's Royal Rumble match we'll be discussing first, and we'll be closing off the video with the men's. That's right. Many names been announced, but there's many mysteries as well. So we'll go through surprise entrants. Who will be numbers 1 and 2? Who will get the coveted number 30? And well, NXT was suggested who will get the biggest pyro or the pyro spot in the Rumble as well for us. So plenty to dive into. Looking forward to it. Some would say this has been a low-key build to a Royal Rumble. I would agree with it, but I do think there's actually a lot to talk about on this stream, and I'm looking forward to diving into all of it. And end of the day, it is a Royal Rumble, so my excitement levels are naturally higher because it's a Royal Rumble. I don't care location, the build, anything like that. There are 30 people going to get into a ring with an opportunity for a championship match at WrestleMania, and I'm hyped for it. So yeah, my excitement level for this one, especially as I might be able to watch this live for once, is a 9.
Dude, it's a 10 for me. Always is. It's the Rumble. And I think with this year as well, I mean, I was just counting now. I think you've got something like 21 of the women announced already, which it pisses me off every year. Excuse my French. But the men aren't as many. But I don't know why we do this. Like, make it exciting, make it unknown. I can understand maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5. But 21 competitors announced for the Women's Rumble. Like, geez, put some surprise into it. And just in terms of the other 2 matches, is this AJ Styles' last Royal Rumble match? Is Sami going to win a title? Is it AJ Styles' last match? So there's a lot of story beats in the 2 matches that aren't the Rumble. So I'm gassed. And we're probably going to get another match added in somewhere as well.
There is that possibility. I was expecting maybe we might get Stephanie Vaquer, Raquel Rodriguez, but Raquel was in the Rumble, and now they've announced the match for those 2 next week on Monday Night Raw. CM Punk has been defending his championship on Raw weekly, so he doesn't appear to be on this show in any format. They could do a late one with Finn Balor because Balor can't get into the Royal Rumble. All 30 spots are taken, so there is something they could do with that, but something makes me feel that will be saved for a later day. The fact is, there's 2 Rumble matches, and in recent years, Triple H has liked to book them long. Obviously, like last year's, I think for both men's and women's, they were like an hour and 15 minutes each. So I'm expecting we're going to have a long time with these 2 Rumble matches. They're probably going to take about 2.5 hours at least of the show. And obviously, when you add the other 2 matches in, I think we're looking at about a 3.5 hour show here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain. It's the Rumble. Like, I think it's the one exception in the year, apart from WrestleMania, where you can sort of break the limits of a 3-hour pay-per-view. The timing as well, it's not exactly like it's on later for a lot of people, like the UK, Saudi, even the US. It's on during the day, so it's kind of like that one exception where you can get away with doing 4 hours, for example, on this pay-per-view. But like I said, the Rumble is the Rumble, and you've got 2 story-driven matches which really do deserve some time. I'm not being funny. Even if you don't do Vaquer versus Roxanne, or do you know what I mean, or even throw in a tag team title match or something like as much as I hate to say it, but like Alpha Academy versus the tag team champions, I forget who they're on there. Do you know what I mean? A squash match, something that can be over in 3 or 4 minutes, but can take up a spot on the card.
Absolutely, yeah, I totally get your point of view with that one. And obviously, you're talking about the Usos there, and of course, on the SmackDown side, MFT's just won the titles recently from the White Six. But you mentioned there, we've got 2 Rumble matches. We've got 2 matches with a lot of meat on the bone. What are you most looking forward to? I feel I know the answer.
Dude, man, if this is AJ's last match, I am going to be so. I don't know, like I can't even explain it, man. Like we thought we'd get like a AJ Styles farewell tour, and in the last week, it's just all come out that this is probably his last match. Like, obviously, there could be a caveat, and there could be a swerve or curveball, and do you know what I mean? This might not be his last match. He might not lose. It might end in a no DQ. But man, I don't know. I think for me, I don't know, this is building Gunther in a way that I wasn't expecting, and him as like, I think they've just recently registered the trademark of the career ender or the career killer or something.
Career killer.
And I'm like, I don't know if I want this, because I know he's supposed to be Brock Lesnar's last match. I mean, what are we building here with Gunther? Like, what is the point of someone who ends careers? Because inevitably he's going to come up against someone like, I don't know, Chad Gable, and what is it going to be? A case of Gunther only fights people that he can end careers? It's like, is this just a WWE's way of telling you that you're going to be handed in your notice and you're going to be released the day after or something, just by using Gunther as the caveat? I don't know. It's a weird one, man. Like, it's a kind of, for me, a wait and see with Gunther, but the fact that it's maybe like AJ's last ever match, man, that stinks.
I mean, yeah. I mean, ultimately, it will be AJ's decision if this is the time. His contract is. We might as well dive into that match first. I think that's what we'll be doing in the moment because we're talking about it. It's a match I'm obviously very much looking forward to as well within itself because a part of me does see both sides of the fence, but of course, the Royal Rumble match is once a year, so that's going to be the one that wins it. But let's just dive straight into it because we've started talking already about it. So, without further ado, here is AJ Styles versus Gunther. It is the potential final match of AJ Styles' career, of course, debuting the 2016 Royal Rumble match, of course, originally confronting Roman Reigns. He's won WWE Championships. He's won Intercontinental Championships, United States Championships, the Tag Team Championship, most recently with Dragon Lee. He's main evented a WrestleMania in a Boneyard match with The Undertaker, which was his last match. So he does have a retirement match under his belt already. And like you say, Gunther is the guy that right now has become the career killer. And to answer what you have just said there, in my personal opinion, I think it's a great thing of what they're doing with Gunther because I don't think it's going to be simply every match he has. He's going to make someone retire. It's a name that's a proper notch on the belt. AJ Styles is someone that's probably had one of the best careers in the last decade. John Cena was, arguably the GOAT. Goldberg is someone from the Attitude Era or, the 90s, which certainly could add something there. And it was a good starting point. Yeah, the Monday Night Wars. And it was a good starting point. If you're building this up and to go for them Brock Lesnar, look, the rumors are that's the match for WrestleMania. I'm assuming they'll have something in the Royal Rumble match. Spoilers for later on's conversation, because Gunther will be doing double duty on this show, regardless of the result. I have a feeling that we might get that at WrestleMania, and I think Brock might win the first match. And I think they may do a rematch then at SummerSlam, and then that's when Gunther gets the career of Brock Lesnar. But I think it's going to get to a stage where I think they're just building Gunther as the guy moving forward because there is a plethora of older talent in WWE when you look at the main event scene. And they need to get some younger faces up there. Now, granted, Gunther's not the youngest guy in the world, but at the same time, 37, he's still got probably 5 to 10 years. He's in his prime right now, and it's an opportunity then for him to do credible matches with the likes of a Roman Reigns, a Seth Rollins, go back to Cody Rhodes, who's still in the mix. And you can then start building the ones that are up and coming, the people like the Braun Breakers, obviously heel right now, might be a face one day. You can build them Braun Breaker to be that guy that can beat Gunther like it used to mean to beat Brock Lesnar back in the day, and it would get you over to that next level. Yeah. So I think that's what they're trying to do here with this. The question is AJ Styles retiring? Because they had a match at the start of the year. I thought it was a very clever finish in this main event of Monday Night Raw. I believe it was in Dusseldorf, Germany, if I'm not mistaken. AJ Styles looked like he'd had the match won with calf crusher because Gunther was tapping, but the ref couldn't see. He tapped on AJ Styles' body, and obviously AJ Styles broke the hold, and that's what led then to Gunther picking up the victory. Very clever, very creative. I kind of wish they'd done that for this match here if it's going to be AJ Styles' last match, but still, great opportunity to do with the rematch here. Gunther, like I said, he would only take the rematch if there was something more on the line. AJ Styles, we know it's his last year. He's announced it well ahead of time that this is going to be the finish for AJ. But the question is, and this is the thing, commentary is saying AJ Styles wants all of these dream matches, these mega feuds, and all this sort of stuff with some of his greatest rivals. Is there a point when you look back over the last 6 months, because AJ Styles was sort of hit and miss a bit of times on Monday Night Raw. He's been prominent on the last 6 months. And you argue with the matches that he's now had CM Punk, a match one-on-one we didn't think we'd ever see. He's had a tag team title run, which I think was a tag title run he was missing in his championship reigns. He's had that with Dragon Lee. He was facing John Cena. He's had many great matches and been facing some of his old rivals. Have we secretly been seeing the AJ Styles farewell tour without even realizing it?
I mean, possibly, but it's kind of like you can't really have you can't really advertise the same thing twice. So you're not really going to put on a farewell tour in line with John Cena's farewell tour. So it very well may have been. And yeah, like, dude, even the John Cena AJ Styles match last year was phenomenal. And yeah, look, man, like I said, it sucks that we're not getting more from him. Like, I've obviously said that a few times that I worry about his in-ring style, because we've seen it even recently where he's tried to do like the forearm and he slips or he fumbles, and like he's not obviously as agile as he used to be, which was why I always said he needed to change up his style. Maybe just get rid of the forearm. He can still do like the Styles Clash and all that kind of stuff, but Father Time's just catching up with him, unfortunately. But these guys need to go out on the grandest stage of them all. They need to go out at the biggest show of the year. Like, don't get me wrong, the Rumble's not a bad second place, but like I said, John Cena going out at Saturday night's main event in December just doesn't seem fitting for what people are casting as the GOAT. And it's the same with AJ. Like, anyone else, like these people have had like 25, 30 year careers that people have watched and lived and enjoyed and all this time, and just to not go out at on the highest show of the year, the biggest point, the highest peak, the most viewed, the Super Bowl equivalent of wrestling at WrestleMania, it just almost feels underwhelming. But look, we could be sitting here with waffling and talking about him leaving. He could actually end up winning, and it might not be the end of the AJ Styles. So we could all be getting, like, do you know what I mean, fed a proper stinker in, all being lied to. I would absolutely love that, because I think the pop AJ would get for winning at the Rumble would be fucking huge, because the amount of people that expect him to win, lose.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, especially after the Shinsuke Nakamura post that was on Instagram and in his story. I think it lasted about 4 hours before it was taken down, where it said along the lines of that AJ Styles, when are you retiring? Royal Rumble, my mind's set on it. Obviously, we go on to say a lot more in that, but I think that was the reason it got taken down, because up until that point, I was really sort of torn. I was like, Rumble doesn't feel like the place that AJ would retire. Sure, he's going to have one more show in Georgia. It just, all that sort of stuff sort of came to my mind a little bit. WrestleMania's around the corner, but do you know what? Something poetic debuting at the Royal Rumble in 2016 and then retiring Royal Rumble 2026, a full decade in WWE. It does seem almost perfect. And if I'm going to be honest, people will hate on it, but I think it's the right opponent. And if you ask me, one match I needed to see before AJ Styles retired, there was 2 matches actually. One was CM Punk in the singles match in WWE. We got that on Raw without a conclusive finish, but regardless. But the other match was Gunther. And Gunther is the right person to retire AJ Styles right now with the gimmick and the direction they're going. It's prediction time for me, and I'm going to go with the Ring General. Sadly, I think we'll see our last Styles Clash in this match. And it's sad, because there are matches we could have still had. Another Finn Balor match I know NXT was desperate to see. I wanted to see one more TNA run. I was desperate to see something with the TNA Championship. But look, AJ Styles has had a phenomenal career. He's done it all. There's not much more to do. There's only one thing left after this for me, and that's a Hall of Fame induction for me. But I suppose time will tell when that day will come. But Gunther for the win for me.
I'm gonna say AJ Styles. I'm gonna hope. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna put my heart on. I'm gonna put my heart on my sleeve and just say AJ Styles. I don't want this journey to be over yet. I just don't feel like I said, I still want that Finn Balor match. I still want that storyline. I want that rivalry. And the fact that Finn's meant to be getting a push this year, I think there's such a big story that they could do that they just never did. They've never done a decent storyline with them two. I think they've had like maybe 2 matches in singles competition against each other the whole time in WWE. These guys have got so much history together that why haven't they done it? So do you know what? I'm going to say AJ Styles wins, and he's around till the end of the year, or at least Mania.
I mean, my heart wants you to be right. The facts, and this is now me going to a bit of selfish territory, but I'm so pleased that I saw AJ Styles perform live this month, because it could be the last month of his career.
Yeah.
And the only time I'd seen him perform live before that was in a Battle Royal. So to actually now see him, and it was a tag team match. What I saw him, he was teaming with Dragon Lee against the New Day, but still they did the thing, where the springboard
Style Clash.
the Styles Clash. It was just amazing, and just to see Styles perform live with a bit more time in the ring, now time the gruff. For me, he's still got it. I understand there may be an odd slip here and there, but AJ Styles for me is still up there with the best, and it's a testament to him that he wants to go out while he's still on top before it completely does derail him. So credit to him. But NXT was going AJ Styles. I've gone Gunther. It's time to go to the comments. You've all been very
I'll just add. I won't lie. I'll just add that if he ends up leaving and then goes to TNA for the rest of the year, oh man, that'd be phenomenal. To go back, have one more run as TNA champion, I'm 100% behind that.
I'd love to
see AJ Styles versus Tommaso Ciampa for the TNA World Championship. Yes, please sign me up.
Oh, I would love that indeed, yeah. A Nick Nemeth match would have done me, to be fair. I'd be quite happy with that. All Max Santana,
Nemeth will make AJ look like $1 million.
Absolutely. And to be fair, I mean, could you imagine just AJ Styles versus Leon Slater for the X Division Championship? That would have been
man.
Would have been good.
You're wetting my whistle here. I'm like, and I've got the driest throat because I'm super ill. But yeah, man, honestly, what 3 matches I'd really want, those 3.
Unfortunately, though, I don't think we're getting them, but there you are. Let's go into the comments. There'll be a mixed bag here because we've got quite a few people that have thrown other comments other than this match. So let's see what everyone's got to say, and then we'll dive on to our next one, which will be Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. Byron getting his prediction early says that he doesn't see Sami winning the match. We'll go into it very soon. Ray said, watching the video on the channel name, asking that I should use potentially AI to see what they come up with. I may have already looked into that. AI still has a few kinks in their armor, I will say.
I think people think this is like a 5-minute decision. It's like you've been thinking about this for like 18 months, 2 years.
It is around that. I had a comment, but I love CD. Nation Dog said to me on the thing, said, I noticed that you still got Impact Wrestling on the banner. And I wanted to say something, but I thought would let you find it. So I was like, that tells you how long I've been considering making this change on the channel, because that's why I've not changed the banner. So yeah, the change has been there for a long time. It's just now felt like the right time to make the move. But Ray, I appreciate the comment. You never know, I might look at it one more time, but if you have any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Happy to hear them. Kicking with Leo says, I think with the recent losses at Saturday night's main event and a Raw, I think Liv has to win on Saturday night. No disrespect to Bianca, not a fan of return winners from injury. It's lazy. What about a return that's not been injured and may just be there for the pops? I might have another name in mind for you, Leo. Going to keep you guessing for the meantime. We got to see it. Byron says, Sami, I've been burned before. Every time he gets a world championship match, he loses. That's kind of been Sami's shtick. We'll be going into that next, Byron, and I've got a little bit something there for you that I want to talk about when it comes to that. We're going to go back onto Liv Morgan for the second from Leo. Says Liv went on ESPN, talked about her performances in Royal Rumble, from the shortest elimination at one point to being the runner-up, Final Four, and top 3, and even longest Iron Woman. She said it's now or never. We'll see. She's who I want to win the Rumble. We'll see if she gets it. And of course, Leo does say it's the most deserving in his personal opinion. Dave and Housestone, thank you for joining us. Says reports are saying WWE interested in signing New Japan's Evil is leaving New Japan. Yeah, I've seen that as well. You said about wetting your whistle. This one doesn't do much for me.
No, I don't watch enough New Japan, unfortunately, to justify whether Evil is like, do you know what I mean? He probably is a really good wrestler. He's Japanese at the end of the day, and they're all pretty good, but like, I don't know nothing about his character work. I don't know his language barrier. If he is like, it just feels to me that Shinsuke's on the way out, and this is almost like a like for like swap. Is Shinsuke's going to leave, and they're going to bring in Evil instead?
I don't know. I just don't know where he fits in. Does he go in the tag team? Does he go in the group? I don't know. I'm not sure at this point.
It's almost like the same as any time there is a group of luchador wrestlers. What we'll do is we'll stick them in a faction together, because that's how WWE seems to treat luchadors.
That does seem to be the way, to be fair. You've got a valid point there. Byron says Gunther retires CM Punk in 2028. So that's an early prediction for if there ever was one. Could happen, Byron. You could be onto something there. W2K Mason says is going to have an Attitude Era, and this is going to be the Triple H edition, like the Undertaker edition in 2K25. Yes, so we got the Attitude Era edition, Monday Night War edition, the King of Kings edition, and there will be a standard edition which will be announced on Friday, which CM Punk expected to be the cover star of that one. There has to be one that's not got Triple H on the cover. Are you excited for the game this year?
Yeah, I am, just because of like I've been watching a couple of videos and seeing what they're supposed to be adding. Like, I mean, I didn't get last year's. I kind of like I do it sort of every 2 years with these games because I don't feel they change a lot year to year. It's the same as buying like FIFA every year. There's very little they change. But the Attitude Era thing is such a nostalgic thing, and obviously the CM Punk showcase is a massive thing. It's just a case of that. I don't think we're going to get certain things in the showcase that a lot of people want.
That could be the case, and so I'll have to tell, see if that will work out or not. But yeah, we'll talk about more about the game another day. We're going to keep it Royal Rumble for now because NXT have got an early start tomorrow, so I want to make sure that he's good and ready at a good time this evening. But Leo does say, I think one heel, one face will win when it comes to the Royal Rumble matches. That's why Liv and Roman are the predictions for Leo. Liv eliminates Bianca with a sneaky, which honestly will get more heat on her for eliminating a lot of people's favorites. Fair play with that. But yeah, he says even though Liv will be a heel, but in Saudi, I think they will cheer her. That is true. She usually is very well over when it comes to Saudi. And it's kind of like with Punk, with Balor and Punk in Ireland as well. Yes. Bob says, would you have Chelsea Green win the Women's Rumble? Of course we would.
Sorry, my dog is sitting there just staring at me, and I'm like, what have I done? What are you staring at me for? Sorry, what was that last comment, mate? I was a bit perplexed then by a small dog.
Would you have Chelsea Green win the Women's Rumble?
100%. Chelsea Green should always be the nominated pick for winning the Women's Royal Rumble.
But it's not going to be our prediction, just to give early ones in there. No,
my dark horse.
We know better, unfortunately. But this is one they don't let us have the pencil because that's what we'd book. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next match for you now. It's going to be Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. I'm really looking forward to talking about this match. Drew McIntyre surprising everyone on the road to WrestleMania, becoming the undisputed WWE champion, winning the title in Berlin from Cody Rhodes, who now has to go through the Royal Rumble. He can't simply just get a rematch, which many people I think would have expected at this show here. But instead, we got a fatal four-way to determine the number one contender at Saturday night's main event. All had qualified on random qualifying matches on SmackDown. Sami Zayn was the victor in that. Of course, match featured Damian Priest, featured Trick Williams and Randy Orton as well. It's great to see Sami get the hometown win in Canada. You feel like he's going to have almost like a home sort of reception, you feel, in Saudi Arabia. Of course, with his, support with, and speaking Arabic and everything that goes with that. It's been a big deal for him to be in Saudi, and they've really welcomed him with open arms. He's been undefeated in matches over there as well, but he's never beaten Drew McIntyre. They're really honing in on this record of like it's like 13-0. Drew has won every single match between these two, and usually when they do that, it usually means it's going the other way. But surely Drew's just won the title. You wouldn't expect him to lose it this soon. But then again, sometimes Saudi has a bit of influence when it comes. We've seen their influence when it comes to previous WWE shows. What if they want Sami to win the WWE Championship? I'm going to give my 2 cents now on this one. I'm going to keep it fairly brief because this is what I feel. I feel this is a long-term story being played out for us. I think Sami Zayn is going to win the WWE Championship, and I think he will win it in Saudi Arabia.
I was going to say next year.
Yes, at WrestleMania 43. This is a starting block for that story. And Sami Zayn, I think, he said he wants to become a world champion. I would not be surprised what this does, because Sami Zayn could spiral after this and like, I blew it again. He's got to find his way then through WrestleMania. Maybe he has support from Kevin Owens, who could come back and just support him. Doesn't have to be in ring if he's not fit to go. Or maybe, he has other friends in the locker room. It could lead to a feud in that way to build his journey to WrestleMania. He can overcome that as he gets to WrestleMania. Perhaps in the summer, he finds himself in Money in the Bank. Maybe he wins Money in the Bank and thinks, this is my way of winning it. Because Sami, they would cash in the right way. He wouldn't do it in the sneaky way. And maybe he would just be screwed at the last second. Or even worse, he could go through the Daniel Bryan syndrome. He can actually win the title title and someone cashing in him immediately to the point of thinking, well, I'm not going to do this because I try and win it again afterwards in the rematch and I lose the rematch. Sami Zayn, in my opinion, will win the Royal Rumble match next year. And I think he will then, that'll be his culmination to get one final shot at the championship. And I think he'll win the title at WrestleMania 43. It just feels like that will be the right way to do this. And here you can then build on WrestleMania 43 with the journey he's gone through. But most importantly, he lost here in Saudi when going for the title before, and he always loses when going for championships. It was said in the comments earlier on. I think Drew is winning here. And another reason I think Drew is winning here is because of the fact that he's already got his eyes set on what's going on next. He got involved in Saturday night's main event with Cody and Jacob Fatu. I think we're looking at a triple threat match when it comes to Elimination Chamber, unless this is 3 of 6 people that will be inside the chamber. But if you had to ask my opinion now, I think we're getting Drew versus Cody versus Jacob for the WWE Championship in the triple threat match in Chicago. Obviously, Elimination Chamber. So, yeah, Drew McIntyre to win this one for me. Sami Zayn, this is the start of that championship story. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This could be a long-term one for Sami, and I think it could be quite an exciting one.
So Sammy's great. Like, no matter what you put Sami in, he always does really well. And I will go back to when he faced Gunther for the IC title, I believe it was. Yeah. And do you remember the whole ring walk that he done? And he walked past all those people, and he walked past KO. And by the time his music hit, Jesus Christ, he'd won that crowd over with sympathy. Like, people were like, I don't think Sammy's going to do it. And by the time his music kicked in, you were like, I really want Sami to do this. Sammy's always been phenomenal at playing the underdog. But I'm in the same boat as you. I don't actually think he'll win the Rumble next year, because I think to add more desperation to it, I think if he's the runner-up at the Rumble next year, then has to go into Chamber and win at Chamber, I think is a more like just a more of a like desperation plea to get him into WrestleMania. And the fact that you start this with Drew automatically tells me that it probably will be Drew against Sami at 43, with a caveat that you could throw KO in that mix as well, because I think KO versus Sami is the match that I've wanted it for years for a world championship. It just depends on how it goes. I mean, look, it is another caveat as well. Why don't we throw Chris Jericho in that mix? Jericho's got so much history with Kevin Owens. Never fatal 4-way. When was the last time we had a fatal 4-way for a world title? Like, it's always singles matches or the occasional triple threat, but never a fatal 4-way. But yeah, give me that angle. Give me desperate Sami, best friend KO, worst nightmare Drew McIntyre, someone he's never beaten. The only problem is, like, the bit I'm struggling with is what you do with Sami between this and Rumble Chamber next year. Do you give him Money in the Bank briefcase? Do you have him fail a cash in with the Money in the Bank briefcase? Do you, like you said, have him win the title and have someone cash in on him? Like, that's one scenario, but you've got to book it now for the next 14, 15 months to get him to that WrestleMania. And the other caveat is that he has to stay fit and can't get injured. So that's always a risk regardless. But this for me, this whole Sami Zayn becoming world champion is along the same lines as Daniel Bryan's underdog story. Like, by this time next year, Sami Zayn could be on that same level of guy that needs to win it for all the right reasons. Everyone wants to win it, and it just culminates at 43 next year.
Yeah, I have that feeling as well. And like you say, it's how they book it. And I feel that they must have some form of plan in place, I feel, for how they're going to execute this. And I don't know, I'm optimistic for some reason. You know, we've seen a 12-month storyline play out with John Cena, but that was with limited dates. Sami's there every week, and he can be on multiple shows a week if they need him to. So I feel like hopefully this can turn out better. So
I think as well what they'll end up doing, I reckon they'll end up just because it's the bloody WWE Championship, I reckon they'll end up swapping the titles over. And Drew will end up having the World Heavyweight title, and it'll be for the World Heavyweight title next year. Just because you know what they do, the WWE title is always held for the guy. The World title has always been a secondary title, essentially, to the WWE Championship, and it's always been guys that won it that were never good enough to hold the WWE title. So I think that's the other reason why they would also wait till 43.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good
And it's no
argument.
disrespect on Sami. I think that's just the way the company looks at their titles and how they treat them. Because, like I said, you go back through the lineage of the WWE Championship and the people that have held it, then you go back to the old World Heavyweight title. Yes, you'd get people like a John Cena or Randy Orton holding that world title, but there would be more people holding that world title that would never ever hold that WWE Championship. And look, I could be totally wrong, and by this time next year, Sami Zayn could be that guy that should be holding that WWE Championship. But that's the journey we now have to go on from now until WrestleMania 43.
Absolutely. I think there has to be a thing of if Sammy loses this, he needs to go through doubt. I think there's an actual elimination chamber,
100%.
which could be his last chance to try and find a way into WrestleMania. I think that it could be then that way of like, oh, okay, I've not done that either. I'm not good enough for WrestleMania this year. I can't get on the card this year. It's just not for me. I wasn't on it last year. I won't be on it this year. And I think then they can either keep him off of it, or they have someone by his side who will like use the opportunity to either motivate him or turn on him. And I think that's where you'll get his match. I actually think next year Drew McIntyre will be a stepping stone on the road to WrestleMania if Sami wins the Rumble. And I think that then Sami can finally pin Drew and show, right, I can beat him. Now I've just got to go and win the title. So I think he's like the one before the final boss, if you will, whoever that will be come Mania next year. But yeah, anyway, to go into one comment here, Mike says Drew shouldn't lose way too early. Completely agree, 100%. Drew McIntyre retains.
Do you know what would be the worst thing for them to do now is to have Sami win it, and then Monday night Drew wins it back, and they hot potato it for 2 nights. Then honestly, I think I'd give up the product if they did that.
I mean, I wouldn't be a fan of the idea. I'm all for like some title swapping, which is what they seem to be doing quite a lot recently. But yeah, I'm the idea of like maybe 6 champions a year, not like swapping it 3 times in a week, no, or in a month.
I wouldn't mind it like 4 times in a month as long as it's swapped between the same 2 guys. I wouldn't mind that. Not 4 different champions. If it's story driven, I wouldn't mind it. But if you give me like 4 different champions in a month, yeah, don't even bother.
Yeah, well, not for me.
To be fair, we've just had someone hold it for 4 years. So what would 4 champions in a month be? To be honest,
it would be very quick.
Yeah,
just getting names on the championship. Exactly. That's what you're doing. Not enough time to even make the plates. But yeah, we're gonna wrap that one up there. So, final prediction from you?
I'm gonna go with Drew retaining.
Drew retaining from me as well. You will not be surprised, Alex Steve, that our comments is basically all about Royal Rumble matches. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to dive into the Royal Rumble matches. I'll answer one question from Mason. Mason says, do you think any TNA wrestlers will be in the Rumble? Short answer, yes. I'll tell you who in a minute. We will start off, and Leo, this will make you happy. We're going to start off with the women's Royal Rumble match. Now, you can see some of the faces on there, but I'm going to give you all the names of who has been announced so far. We've got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Jordan Grace, Becky Lynch, Chelsea Green, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Julia, and Maxine Dupree, all been announced at the time of recording. So the fun part for this for me, who's winning the Tag Team Royal Rumble?
Yeah, basically, that's what it's come down to at the end. It's like, yes, I mean, looking at the list, you can literally eliminate most of them because of the tag team titles. Like, I need to find the image that you sent me now because, yeah, I just honestly, it just pisses me off. Like you said, you've put 21 women in there, and you can see Rio and Io, don't think so. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, don't think so. I hate to say it, Leo, but Liv and Roxanne, I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like half of these, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Bliss and Flair, half of them you've automatically eliminated as well. I think Jordan Grace and Chelsea Green are also automatically eliminated because I think they've got a thing going on. I think Maxine Dupree is going to get eliminated because Natalia's going to be in the Rumble, and I don't think Natalia's going to win it. So, do you know what I mean? That's 22 names already, and it's like it does dwindle that list down really small to who you would have left, because I think from my calculations, I'd be left with Becky Lynch and Julia, and of those two, I think Becky Lynch would have the best chance of winning it. Otherwise, it's a surprise entrant.
I would agree, and I'm going to get in early with this. I don't think Becky Lynch is winning the Royal Rumble because I think AJ Lee's going to enter the Rumble and eliminate her.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's right as well because that sets up their. I think they've already confirmed that AJ Lee's supposed to be fighting Becky at Mania, so yeah, I think that's going to be one of them for sure.
It seems to make a lot of sense with that idea, to be fair. Let's go through some names then that you think potentially could show up at the Women's Royal Rumble match. I'll throw a couple in your direction, and you can give me a yay or a nay. And then, yeah, if you've got some others of your own, feel free to throw them in. Comments as well. If you have some suggestions you think could be in this match that we don't know ahead of time, then please let us know. For me, I think Bianca Belair obviously is a name that's come up. It's a name we've heavily speculated of being a potential winner. Leo has already said in the comments he's profoundly against the idea of Bianca winning this Rumble, but I think she's someone we definitely could see potentially return and be a part of this match.
Yeah, I mean, Bianca's going to be in it. It's just a case of it sucks because it just seems like she's going to be like the main focal point and the main reason, the main I think the odds-on favorite to win the bloody Rumble, and I hate it because I think I said this the last time. You quoted me that in the first 10 men's Rumbles, three of them were double winners, and I was like,
True.
We don't need to do this, man. Like we can go about other ways getting Jade and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Like give it to someone new, man. Like the Rumble is the hardest thing to win. It should be one of those things that like makes a star, beating 29 other competitors to win the bloody thing, and yet double winners is just it's such a niche thing.
I'll tell you what then, I'm going to throw another name out there, which I don't think enough people have mentioned for the Women's Royal Rumble, and I think this is a contender to win it. You're talking about someone new that hasn't won a Royal Rumble match before, someone that has actually had an amazing 2025, someone that's been off of our screens for a few months but would come back and would instantly feel credible to win that match and then have a championship match at WrestleMania. Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, it's a great shout. It's again, I'm sitting there thinking about the problem I have with Tiffany is, I mean, Jade. It makes sense to have her versus Jade at WrestleMania. My problem is that Stephanie Vaquer has nothing, and we've got to try and build something for that. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you don't need Bianca winning the Rumble to get Bianca versus Jade at WrestleMania. I think ultimately it's probably going to be a winner that goes after Stephanie Vaquer, because I think Stephanie Vaquer is in desperate need of a storyline at the minute, and I don't think Tiffany's it. I just don't think it is, unfortunately.
Well, I was going to say, why not Tiffany versus Stephanie Vaquer? Because right now I'm struggling.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, yeah.
That person. But
yeah, don't get me wrong. The match probably will be an absolute killer, but I think if I remember, Tiffany's still on SmackDown, but then again, the Rumble you can choose whoever you want. But yeah, I think Stephanie needs a credible opponent for WrestleMania, and I'm struggling to find anyone to do it in a minute. And the only name is possibly Becky Lynch, and I think that's even a bad idea.
It's just unfortunate. I think she's occupied. We mentioned AJ Lee as a potential surprise already. I was going to throw a little banner up of who will be surprise entrants in the Royal Rumble match for each one we're doing. So yeah, let's just throw that up there now. A bit late in the game, but still, I'm going to now spitfire some names at you, and you can go with a yay, a nay. We'll try and get through them quite rapidly for us. But
if they're going to be in it, yeah.
Yeah, if they're going to be in it. So, been off TV recently. Nikki Bella, someone that's not been around, but I imagine she will probably show up in the Rumble. Is there be a chance that Brie Bella could be in there? We've got a bit of a tag team scenario going on in the Rumble match.
If Brie is in it, it's just for a cameo appearance. I don't think she would. Again, with Daniel being part of AEW, I don't know. I don't think so. I think there's another spot from like an NXT star that would be better off taking that spot.
Absolutely. I'll be throwing a few NXT names your way in a minute, or I may just ask which ones you feel may be in it. But what about Paige?
I would love to see it, honestly. I would love to see her come back. I just don't think she will.
I actually really have a strong feeling that it could happen. because she's been out of the game now for a little while, but obviously she had a run in AEW. She was perfectly fine during that. She's done an indie run. She's openly said she misses Paige and would love to play that character again. She's open to doing WWE stuff. So if they can find a spot for her, I think this would be a good time to bring her back in. I would be quite in favor if they were to do so. Some NXT names,
especially when you've got AJ Lee on the roster as well.
Exactly. There's a lot of history you can play then. Plus, we mentioned Nikki Bella as well. So, I mean, they've got some of the old guard there from the end of the Divas era that would go into the start of the new women's revolution they were doing back in the mid-10s. But, I mean, like, they're going to some NXT names, Sol Ruka, Zarya, Kalani Jordan, Jada Parker. I mean, there's a stack of talent in NXT. I mean, I'm not even mentioning so JC Jane, Blake Monroe, Izzy Dane, Tatum Paxley. I mean, surely we might see 2 or 3 of these appear in the Rumble.
Sol Ruka, I think, was a definite shout to be in the Rumble. She's so automatically already highly sought after that, it's just a matter of time before she comes up. And JC Jane's still the champion, but I don't think, I honestly give Jada Parker the spot. I mean, Jada Parker deserves it. Jada Parker's done nothing in NXT for so long, and I think with the build she's getting on NXT at the minute, give her the spot in the Rumble.
I wouldn't mind seeing it, to be fair. I'm going to throw one that Fightful Selectors reported could be in the Rumble. Tell you what you want. Fightful Select is a decent source. Dakota Kai.
Honestly, that would just piss me off, because if it's a cameo appearance and she isn't coming back full time, sorry, if she doesn't come back full time, that would just piss me off.
Fair.
But yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I would take it as well. Tag Team Royal Rumble. Recently just left TNA Wrestling. Been asked if TNA will be involved here. The Inspiration, or better known as the Iconics.
Nah. Wasted spot on someone that doesn't work for the company. Nope.
How about some legends? Trish Stratus, Lita. We've got the Attitude Era of W2K26 coming out.
Yeah, Lita's probably your best shout with that one. Lita and Trish, probably, if you're going to give 2 of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, there was always the classics, the Kelly Kellys and all of those out there that could always come in, but we've seen it, done it. So if you had to pick 3, let's do 3 surprise entrants in the Women's Royal Rumble match, which 3 are you picking right now?
I'm going to go with Bianca because I think it's the safest bet. I think that's a definite. I'm going to go with Paige because it's the one that I probably want the most for nostalgia reasons. And I'm going to go with Sol Ruka because I think Sol Ruka deserves it.
I love those picks. All amazing. I would pop for every single one of them. Bianca, Tiffany, AJ Lee will be my 3. And yeah, I would put Sol Ruka as well if I could. We're going to have another bit of fun here. We're going to a couple of comments quickly, by the way. Got a mix of men's and women's here, by the way. Dave saying Booker T. I was actually going to mention him for the men's rumble later on. Aries here suggesting Kalani Jordan to be a surprise entrant there. Actually saying Roxanne Perez to win. She was a runner-up as well last year, so why not? Chris Jericho and Powerhouse Hobbs. We'll be talking about those 2 a little bit later on for the men's. Leo says the only problem with Tiffany is that people will be fatigued. She was champion of all of last year. There is that, but at the same time, she would be coming back in, and while she's at the top, she would be a credible threat for whoever she would go for. So, yeah, and she's had a 3-month break. It's crazy to think it's been 3 full months, but she has been away for that long. Ray would love to see Jordan Grace win the Rumble, go for Jade Cargill. I think we're going to get that match at Chamber regardless. Mike's give his final 4, which would be Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, Sol Ruka, and Rhea Ripley going for a Liv Morgan victory. Dave will be giving this away too early, but we do think Bianca will return. But to win, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Don't upset Leo just yet. Yeah, he's got on Leo to say more as well about Liv Morgan. But unpredictable going into Raw with Liv winning, Raquel challenging for the title. I do think that would be exciting for the Judgment Day. I would agree. And I do think we're going to get a Judgment Day triple threat match with the women at WrestleMania. I really do feel that. But we're going to have a bit of fun. CD, by the way, is in the house. CD, thanks for joining us. Hope you're well. Good to have you with us. let's go and have a bit of fun, as I say, and let's predict who will be number 1 and number 2. Now, the good thing is, Enix Steve, we've got our boards with us. Obviously, you guys have got the comment section, so you can throw in your number 1s and number 2s. I wish I'd pre-prepared this, actually, because it would have saved a bit of time. So I do apologize. You're watching this live. We are actually going to write them out. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. And obviously, like we say, let us know who you think will be number 1 and number 2, and we'll see if they match. This is going to be exciting. I'm feeling positive about this. I've got mine ready for you.
Oh, yeah. Go on, give me yours while I'm still thinking.
All right, then. Number 1, Rhea Ripley. And number 2, Io Sky. The women's tag team champions against one another to kick the Rumble off, because those two have history as opponents as well. And they'd be great to kick off a Rumble. You know that they both will probably last a bit of time. You can play it out as well with the first couple of other entrants, number 3 and number 4, like trying to break it up. They'll work together to eliminate them. Then boom, you get to number 5, Nia Jax, and all of a sudden then you get the start of the Tag Team Women's Royal Rumble, and you start getting all the teams in there together, have literally like the entrance number 13, 14. There's 10 women in there, and there's 5 tag teams all battling it out. I think that would be a lot of fun and a good way to go. You get some big names in early as well. And then after that, so we can start throwing some of the surprises in, eliminating some of the tag teams, and we start getting where it's a single focused as we get to the latter half of the Women's Royal Rumble.
I like it. I really do. I think my one might just one up yours a little bit more.
Go for it.
You froze his name wrong, but still.
I love it.
Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair. Look, I mean, look, they're two that most people want to win the thing. Stick them in at 1 and 2. They're going to go the distance. I hate the going the distance thing now because it's so overdone. But if you have them 2 at the start, it's just going to be about them 2 lasting as long. And if you get them 2 down to the final 4 as well, like, I just think it's going to cause the most tension with the crowd, because it's going to be a split crowd for both of them. So, yeah, I think Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair, why not?
Fantastic.
Your one, and this is a spoiler for the rewind we're doing, that's just going to give me vibes of Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy in the 2001 Rumble, because they're possibly the dumbest idiots ever. There's 2 of them in the Rumble. Let's fight each other. Your brothers, get down to the final 2. You're so stupid. That's just what that gives me.
Absolutely. There has been that in previous. Go on then. Let's go through number 30 is going to be. Who is going to be number 30 in the Women's Royal Rumble? It's always difficult, this one. In fact, actually, while we're doing that, I'm going to just dive into the comments. A couple of comments have come in, and I love it as well. Bob has actually played along here. Thank you, Bob. Number 1, Becky Lynch. Number 2, AJ Lee. Diving into it there. That would be a great way to kick it off, because then maybe Becky wouldn't last very long in the Rumble. I do think that when AJ Lee turns up, I think it's going to be a short time. But then saying that, it could be quite interesting for the Women's Rumble if Becky was to eliminate AJ Lee, because it would actually, Becky's not really had any heat when it comes to these 2, but I do feel like AJ Lee eliminating Becky is probably the way it's going to go. And Nick Steve, who's your number 30 for the Women's Rumble?
AJ. I'm going to go with AJ Lee. I think, I'm not being funny, but obviously she's got the least ring wear from everyone, and I think she would benefit more from spending the least amount of time in the Rumble. And I think if you've got Becky in that last sort of 5 or 6 scenario when AJ comes out, I think that would be great tension for Becky as a reason for her to not win the Rumble. So I'm going to say AJ Lee is number 30.
I was going to do the same as you, and I think it makes a lot of sense to do that. I really, really do. I think Paige would be an amazing one for number 30 as well, just because of the fact you'd be like, what? She's there? Like, that would just be amazing. But look, we've talked about her in heavy depth now. It doesn't feel such a surprise anymore, but I'm going with Tiffany Stratton as the number 30, because I think a lot of people, when Bianca does come out, say she's number 19, number 20. I do think we're going to get the two sets, like you said, the people that will be like, yes, she's back, and then the groans of, oh no, she's going to win it. And I think then there'll be people that will probably think there's no other contender. It's an obvious one. Then when you see Tiffany come back, all of a sudden, it feels like, hang on, this is a bit more open than we realized. So that's why I'm going to go for that.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's a good shout. You've got conflict of interest in there with the crowd, which is probably what they'll more likely do.
Absolutely, indeed. Love this. Dave was going for Bayley for number 1, Charlotte Flair for number 2. A lot of history with those two. That would be quite interesting. Leo's gone for Bianca and Rhea.
Wait, who's got the longest entrance out of all the women? Is Charlotte, isn't it? Charlotte should be number 1 or number 2 because she's got such a long entrance.
She does have quite a long entrance, to be fair. But then saying that, though,
Yeah,
she's been number 1 or number 2 quite a bit in the past. So I don't know. But it does make a lot of sense. Bianca and Rhea, I think, is really fun, the idea. But I mean, Rhea's entrance is the one that's always usually massively over. And I think that, you said about the biggest pyro for the Rumble. True. I think it's going to be Rhea or it's going to be Bianca. I can see those being the ones that have the big pyro stuff that's going on.
I'd even suggest Bianca just because she's going to be a surprise return.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave is going for Bianca to be number 30, and Aries here saying that I think Kalani will be number 13 for the men's. Already going for Roman Reigns. Eric here going for Liv wins from number 1, the full distance. Would love it, but I will say though, I'm a bit bored of people winning from number 1. I think it's done too often. I want to see, that's one thing.
From the 30 winner.
They've been a bit done to death recently as well. But I do feel under Triple H's booking regime, someone in the first 4 always ends up like going the distance the whole way, and I think it can be a little bit overplayed. So I'd like a bit.
I think for 3 years in a row, I think the time limit was beaten every bloody year, but especially like in the women's Rumble, it was such a pain.
Yeah, absolutely. CD here predicts Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss being number 1 and number 2. They're frenemies after all. I like that. I think that would really add a bit of dynamic to their chemistry and their storyline. So I quite like that to happen. Stephanie McMahon to be number 30 from Bob. Don't you just love it?
Yeah, that would be quite funny.
The Hall of Famer to be. Attitude Era's game's coming out. She's on the cover. So it could work. It could work. You never know. I think, to be fair, I've still got number 1, number 2 up on the screen. I'm not doing this. You can tell I'm a bit out of touch with this. I've not done this as much recently. But I'll tell you what, we've gone through a lot of the stuff, so we'll have a bit of fun with this now. You said before we started who are the biggest pirates, so we're going for that. Final 4. Go for your final 4.
I'm gonna say Liv, Bianca, Tiffany, and Jordan Grace. Why not?
Oh, okay. I like that. I will go with, you gave through the names there. I'm going to go with Bianca, Liv, Tiffany. That's your final 3. I will say Rhea Ripley as the last name.
Yeah.
I think she'll come 4th.
Yeah.
That's going to be my little pick for you there.
Sure. Who's the winner there?
That's the thing. Well, Leo says Liv wins from number 13. We can actually pick the winning number as well. Why not? Bob says, will the women's Rumble match be first? Most likely. They tend to do that most years, don't they? So I'm assuming so. CD's going for Tiffany Stratton to be number 30. Let's get winners in, everyone, now. Who is your winner for the women's Royal Rumble match? And Steve, I'm putting you on the platform first. Who's winning?
I'm going to go with who I want to win it, so I'm going to say Liv Morgan.
I like it. If I was going who I want to win it, I would go with Liv Morgan, but I'm also really open to the idea of a Tiffany Stratton win. I like the idea of that because they're coming back in, and because I do worry when she comes back in where she fits in the card. Like, I just think if she was to win it, move over to Raw and go for Stephanie Vaquer, that make a lot of sense. But I'm going to go with a predictable. Yeah. I'm going to go with a predictable. I think it's the one that makes most logical sense, popular or not. I think Bianca Belair is going to win it. And I think Bianca is going to come out at I think she'll be near the end of the Rumble, but not number 30. So let's say number 24.
Yeah, no, I think if Liv was gonna win it, they wouldn't have her come from number 1. So I would probably see something like 20, 21 maybe, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
CD says Liv Morgan wins for number 23. Leo reminding us if Bianca wins, then her and Charlotte would have won 4 of the 8 Rumbles combined. It's would be a true fact indeed. Aries is hoping that Kalani wins the Rumble. Prediction from Mason that Bianca will win the Rumble. And also, CD says, I predict Belair will be at number 27, a very popular Rumble number for winners as well. So that would make a lot of sense. And Nick Steve, I think we've done that quite well overall.
Yeah.
Should we move
Absolutely,
on to the men?
I agree. Let's go on to the next one.
Let's go for the men's. So we've got the graphic up for the men's. I've got all the names for you going to appear in the Rumble. It's not just Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Dragon Lee, I can promise you. As well, so we can see on that picture. I don't know what WWE's done there with half of that, but you can see Jey Uso in amongst there. Let's go from the start, shall we? Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio, if he's not injured, Dragon Lee, Penta, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, Javon Evans, and Oba Femi. Only 13 names have been announced at this point of the recording, which is pretty exciting because that means there are 17 places still open. And yeah, I mean,
I imagine another 5 are going to be announced Friday.
Probably. And do you know what? I'm totally fine with that as well. That's totally fine because that would leave 12 open spots, and you're always going to get people from the roster that are probably, dare I say this, I'm going to seem a bit harsh on some people, but people that are meant to come in at like for 30 seconds are being thrown out again. Do you know what I mean? Kit Wilson, for example, would be someone that would be amazing to get a spot in the Rumble, just come in, get thrown out, we get to sing along to his entrance music, spot, and that's all you need. Do you know what I mean? So exactly they will get someone like that, and it would be pretty deadly, to be fair, pun intended. Anyway, surprise of that lineup, this obviously you do see more potential winners from this. I mean, obviously Roman Reigns was a heavy favorite, has been my favorite for a long time. I'm going to be honest with you. I think my prediction may have changed. Yeah. I think my prediction has changed for the men's Royal Rumble match. Judging off Raw this week and things in the last couple of days, so it makes it a bit more exciting for viewers as well. You've not heard it before. Cody Rhodes is believable. Gunther is believable. However, I think him and Brock Lesnar may have a little bit of an issue in this Rumble match. Jey Uso is looking to go back to back. I want to see him enter in at number 20. I did want him eliminated by Jimmy Uso, but I don't think that's going to happen now because of the fact that they have, I think there's some personal issues going on with Jimmy Uso, which I think is going to keep him out of the Rumble. It's certainly keeping him away from WWE TV for the last few weeks. Bron Breakker is definitely a potential that could win this. And I think Oba Femi is he's a quiet shout, Well,
the guy's made an appearance yet, and they haven't said what show he's going to be on. So we've said this many times. If there's ever going to be a year in NXT star that is convincing enough that could win the Rumble and go on to Mania and win a championship, Oba Femi's the one.
It certainly is. It does have that vibe about him. But I feel at that point, this is a good time then to say who will be a surprise entrant in the Rumble. Could be some returns as well. So I'm going to do a similar thing to what we did in the last one. We're going to talk about one or two in a bit more detail, and I'm just going to throw a load of names that you can say yes, no, quick little feelings about it. And if you have any you want to add on at the end, feel free to. Comments, you know what to do as well. Get involved with this one. First one, the one that everyone's been talking about is Chris Jericho. Can we see a bit of Judas at the Royal Rumble this year?
I hope so. I really do. Thing is Chris Jericho's always had a habit of when he makes his comeback, he kind of steals the show, and he's already had a Rumble return, which is why I'm almost inclined to say I don't think he will return, because he's had a Rumble return. Do you know what I mean? He's done that before. So, I mean, if you want to beat a horse with a dead horse with a stick, then sure, repeat it and do the same thing again. But again, I'm not going to be happy or disappointed if he is or isn't in that Rumble.
Yeah, understandably. For me, I think that he appeared in the greatest Royal Rumble, the first one they did way back when in 2018. So he has appeared on the Saudi shows before. I think it'd be cool if he was to be part of it. I'm ready to see Jericho back in WWE. If he doesn't come here, when does he come in? And I think a lot of people would start, I don't want to say being sour on it, but I think a lot of people would WWE fans would be questioning a lot if he doesn't appear at this show. So I think it's a strong one to say.
I think there's still rumors about his contract as well. So there's not even a guarantee he's still not a part of AEW at the minute, because he's still on their active roster, I think, as well.
Is he really? Is he really? I think he is
Yeah, I
meant to be
think
a
so.
free agent at this point. So let's see how
Yeah.
it will go down. Can I just say, by the way, we're nearly an hour into the stream. Can you hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen? If you're enjoying the video, hit the like button. This is the main one as well. And feel free to drop more comments in as well. And hype the video if you may do as well, because it just helps with those of algorithms on YouTube. And goodness, this channel needs a little bit of love right now. So we do appreciate it if you could do that, please. Next I'm going to throw at you is one Kevin Owens. We don't know his situation of health right now, but if he was good to go, wouldn't it be great to see him in the Royal Rumble match?
100%. I'm no rush to see Kevin Owens back. Like I said, with the whole thing we've been talking about earlier with Sami, there's no rush for KO to come back. I could quite happily wait till next Rumble to see him return.
There you are. Okay. I've been biting my tongue. I've got to say it now. I didn't even mention it in my own video that I did yesterday, but I knew as soon as I released it, I was like, why did I not say it? Seth Rollins, come on. We've all watched Unreal. We know the situation of what he did with the what was it, the Ruse of the Century that he did for SummerSlam. He got legitimately injured. Everyone thinks he's out for months. Doesn't it feel like a very Seth thing to return at this Royal Rumble?
Yeah, depending on when Bron Breaker's in the Rumble, that's the key thing. So, for instance, if you had Bron as number 1 and then Seth as number 2, that'd be quite funny.
I don't like to give spoilers on this channel, so I'm just going to sort of say, like, to people, if you don't want to know any spoilers of any description, I'm giving you that window now. You can just click off and click mute for the next sort of minute. Okay, now you've had your time. Have you seen the ESPN clip that's going around?
With CM Punk, I know of it. I haven't exactly seen it.
With Seth Rollins, they ask him outright,
yeah,
how do you feel about coming back at the Royal Rumble this weekend?
And what did he say? I didn't actually catch what his response was.
No, the video cuts off at that point. We don't get the response, but they genuinely, it's almost as if like they've spoken about it off air, and then they generally ask him about it on air. So it's a bit like, hey, yeah, the ESPN, this is the Rumble. It's supposed to be a surprise. Do you not watch? And he's not meant to be there. We'll see if that is genuinely a thing or not, but time will tell. But they do ask him if he's generally going to be there, so time will tell on it. But it does make me feel like we might see a Seth Rollins this weekend. We'll have to wait and see. LA Knight.
Yeah, I'll be all for it. Like, I don't even know where the guy's been for the last couple of months. Like, it just seems to be like non-existent. I think the guy needs something. I mean, it'll get a massive crowd pop, so yeah, why not?
Yeah, we'll have to say. I think it could do. I think he could be one of those trying to get involved with the Vision, who now seem to be potentially dominating this Royal Rumble with all 4 members being in there. He needs to go after Logan Paul and Bronson Reed. I'm going to start throwing names now sporadically at you, and let's just get some short answers and see what you think. First off, Chad Gable / El Grande Americano, the original.
Yeah, I hope so.
Feels time, doesn't it? I need El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. I'd love it as number 1 and 2, but hey, look, I'm a realistic man. I halfway through the Rumble is fine with me. TNA involvement. We mentioned Leon Slater.
Leon Slater or Mike Santana. I think either one of them. I would preferably prefer Leon Slater just because I think he's been more prominent on WWE TV, so it would almost seem more fitting to have Leon Slater appear.
And I think with a high spot, a great elimination as well. You can do a lot with Leon Slater in a Royal Rumble match. I think it would be quite fun to see him there. Speaking of TNA, and I think this one's going to happen, at least one of them, the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boy music, the surprise element of itself, the fact that they're still with TNA at this present moment, I just think would be amazing. Especially, and I mean this nicely, if Jeff Hardy comes through the curtain first. I think the roof will blow off the place, and then when you get Matt, I think it just will be like, yep, brilliant. Happy to see them both here.
Yeah, I think Jeff is the more likely of the two if you're only going to get one of them.
Would agree on that one as well. AAA involvement, Mr. Iguana.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout as well. I think it's a good possibility. It's hard to judge because it's a Saudi crowd where Mr. Iguana is a thing over there, so I'm sure, like, if they're going to involve any AAA superstars, it's going to be Mr. Iguana.
I can't wait to tell you this one. What about for a one-night cameo, coming back after he won the greatest Royal Rumble back in 2018, Braun Strowman?
Oh, no. No. He's not. I've just seen a thing online about him. Apparently, he's just gone in for surgery or something. So that ain't going to happen. So no, I'm sure
No.
I've just seen that. No, don't do it. He comes out with that green belt as well, just as a point to prove that he comes out of it. No, get rid of it. Don't put it on my TV. I don't want to see it.
I think it's a believable surprise entrant. I think it would work well with the crowd that's in present. He's always an attraction for the Saudi crowd, and I think it just would have been good to have him stand up to some of the big boys in this match.
You might as well have the Hurricane come back then. You might as well have Shane Helms in the Hurricane. So would you come back? Look, he's done it so many times before. Why not? Give me Adam Pearce. Give me, do you know what I mean? Whoever. Give me someone like that. It might as well be. It had the same effect.
Give me Nick Aldis.
Nick Aldis, definitely 100%. How the guy has still not had a wrestling match in WWE yet is annoying.
That would be brilliant, especially if he confronted Cody in the Rumble match.
Oh,
work for me. That would be awesome. That would be cool.
Nick Aldis just pulls out the 10 pounds of gold and just holds it in front of him. Do you remember when we fought for this at All In? Just do that with it.
Could be good times indeed. A couple more names I want to throw at you. I mean, Aleister Black, we're not seeing from on WTV. The Street Profits, Rusev into a bundle. Is it worth bringing anyone back here? Brock Lesnar, yeah. I think Brock Lesnar's going to be in this.
Black would be the most obvious one, just because they've kept him off to sell the beatdown of Damian Priest or something. Tedious.
I mean, Joe Hendry as well had a beatdown on NXT, so we don't know if he'll be fit to go for the NXT Championship match next week. So I don't know if he'll be in the Rumble. I personally don't need Joe Hendry in the Rumble this year, if I'm being brutally honest.
No.
Ricky Saints or Ethan Page? Anyone from NXT that you think would make sense?
Ethan Page, I think I would love to see Ethan Page. I think the guy still hasn't had a real mainstream, like main roster appearance yet, so I'd love to see that. But again, probably not going to happen, I'd say.
No. That's enough surprises for now. I think we've given a few. If anyone else has got others, then feel free to throw them in. Bob is suggesting Maven making the surprise appearance. Now, I'd be down for that. I'd be really down for that.
Why not get Raven as well?
Oh, Maven and Raven, yeah. One does that in every team. RVD. I thought RVD could be a realistic possibility. But yeah, the Hardy Boys work as well, just because of that, again, that Attitude Era thing that I was talking about earlier on with the 2K game. See, this Different Storm we get released last year. Agreed, yes, it's a Saudi thing. I think it works well for that crowd, and I think that's the reason why I would have it there. LA Knight isn't winning the Rumble because people backstage don't like him. Make it sound factual, CD. Although, to be fair,
if you watched Unreal, you gave you that impression that he pissed off some people.
It's certainly at Money in the Bank anyway, yeah, with that finish, unfortunately. Yeah. Will Rollins return as a babyface? Yes.
Yeah.
Ray says,
unfortunately.
Surprise entrant, so he's gone for that as well. Mike says, build it out where Finn can tend to send cryptic messages, mind games with Dominic Mysterio. We get Dominic versus Finn Balor at 42 with the return of the Demon. And this was 2 of 2, so there was a part of this somewhere before. Let's have a look for the face turn. Should start at the Royal Rumble. Finn eliminates Dom. Finn is kicked out of the Judgment Day on Raw. And Finn is off TV, but sends the cryptic messages to start the Demon. Loving that, Mike. It's amazing fantasy booking. Finn isn't in the Rumble at present. Dom, you imagine, will be a surprise return. Is Finn going to take someone's spot in the Rumble? Poor Kit Wilson.
If it's going to be Finn's year this year, why not?
Absolutely. Could be. CD says, I always hit the like button. You're very kind, CD, and I'm aware that you are one of those that's always doing that. I do appreciate it a lot. Now the question is, if Seth Rollins returns, does he win it? Without be telling this early at the moment. We're going to do our predictions in a couple of moments, but we've gone through a lot of people's predictions and feelings. Hang on, just go up a little bit more. Aries says, I think Roman Reigns is going to win, and final 4 should be Roman Reigns, Breaker, Femi, and Balor. Romans should win it. I love this from Cindy. What if Kit Wilson's in the Women's Royal Rumble because the men's is too much toxic masculinity? Just genius.
Great CD, honestly, best. It's like proper R-Truth booking. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Ray will be disappointed whoever wins the Rumble if it's not Jordan Grace. Fair. CD says, Kamala Hayes and Trick Williams to kick off the Rumble. I like that suggestion. We're going to go to 1s and 2s in a minute. And Leo suggesting Tiffany going to go after the Women's United States Championship against Julia, which I think that makes a lot of sense as well. Excuse me. Right, let's go into the territory then of numbers 1 and 2. Actually, going to put it right up on the screen for once this time. Let's go for it. I've got 2 in mind. You were prepared. Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Howdy good. And that's a bit of Swedish for oh my God. Would love it. I would be down for that. It's almost like Deadline all over again for me.
Yeah, just because they're teasing this match so much that I think that we get another glimpse of what these two can put on, and I think having these two as 1 and 2 it's just going to be 2.5 minutes of some quality wrestling, and you're just going to see them do flips and tricks and whatever, and they're going to really sell these two.
I freaking love it. I think it makes a lot of sense that. Yep. So sign me up for that. This is what I'm going with. Number 1, Cody Rhodes, and number 2, Jacob Fatu.
And they eliminate each other before the third entrant comes out.
I think they just carry on Saturday night's main event and they fight through the crowd. And maybe the Rumble. It could be like you remember the 99 Royal Rumble where Vince and Austin were like fighting all over the place and the Rumble match was carrying on without them. And then they come back later on. I wouldn't be surprised something like that with these two because for starters, when is Cody Rhodes ever been number 1 at the Royal Rumble in this American Nightmare gimmick? We've not seen it. He's always come through at least halfway through. I think Cody is due a number 1 entrance. And with it being Saudi as well, they're going to want to make it big fight feel from the off, I think, with this Rumble. So I'm going for the Cody one to start it. Plus, it's more believability when, in my opinion, he doesn't win it. I don't think he's winning. And then Jacob Fatu, I mean, again, I think it just makes a lot of sense there because they've got something going on. Maybe Drew McIntyre tries getting involved in the Rumble to get them both eliminated. Could be a factor, actually, to get them both out of the match as well. So, I've gone for Anarchy to kick off the Royal Rumble, and I think that it could work really, really well.
I did originally have Cody. I did originally have Cody as my number 1 before I just fancied the look of Javon Evans and Leon Slater again.
I mean, I'm never going to say no to it, put it that way. That would impress a lot of people nice and early. And I think Javon Evans, will be an early entrant in the Rumble. I can't see him being a late one. So, I think that makes a lot of sense. Who do you think will be number 30?
Do you know what? I don't even need to write that. It's gonna be Roman, man. Like Roman is supposed to be one of the favorites, and I think his number was already set from the off, like from the start, and just having him come in as 30, he'll get that final number pop entry. Because I was like, you could put like Jericho or someone in here, which would be a great return, but I just think Roman Reigns is one of those ones that just gets that spot because he has that aura and that presence, and he has that entrance, and like. Dude, he ain't exactly gonna walk to the ring, is he? He's gonna stroll down. He's not in a rush to get in there. Like he'll get in there when he gets in there, and he'll eliminate whoever's left in there. In fact, he might be shot for number 2 with Cody.
Whoa, what a start that would be! Roman and Cody. Everyone's predicted Mania. Oh, there's legs with that. There's genuine legs with that. I could see that happening.
There you go.
Yeah. That ticks a lot of boxes. Well, for me, for number 30, I was tempted with Roman. I was tempted by Braun Breaker. I then got tempted with Brock Lesnar. But then I settled with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I think he's coming back.
Yeah, it's a great shout.
I think he's number 30. I couldn't be bothered to write freaking, so apologies for those that may be offended by that. But I think Seth's going to be number 30. I'm now going to fantasy book you a little bit of the Royal Rumble match of how I think it's going to go down. As I said, I think Cody and Jacob are going to start things off. I think they're going to fight through the crowd. I think that's going to literally leave them for the ring until they get back at, say, number 10 or number 12 or something like that when the ring's filled up a little bit. I think you're going to get El Grande Americano in there early, and I think he's going to be confronted by Chad Gable as El Grande Americano. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, to see Chad Gable do double duty on the night. But if Gable comes in as the OG Americano, he is going to eliminate. Yeah, he will eliminate the Ludwig Kaiser El Grande Americano, setting up their match for WrestleMania. I am of belief that we will get the Vision dominating this Rumble when all 4 of them get in the ring together, which is why I think we could get a bit of Nexus vibes from 2011, where literally they just dominate the match. This is why I think Booker T could be a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. Monday Night Wars edition of WWE 2K26. Just eliminate him quickly. It's quite easy to do.
Yeah.
You don't need him in the ring for more than 30 seconds. I think as well, we're going to get Jey Uso coming at number 20, where he was last year. Can he do it back to back and from the same spot as well? I think there'll be a bit of pressure for Jey to see if he can get the job done. I think that when we do get people coming in that can stop the vision, having of the four dominating in the ring, I think Roman's probably the first one out that probably stops this. We'll probably get LA Knight out there quite quickly as well as another surprise entrant. I'd like to have seen Braun Strowman, but NXT's against it, so we're not going to go with that. But I think Brock Lesnar gets into the mix, and I think that what we'll get is we're going to get a very cocky in-ring General Gunther come out at this point. And I think that he's going to be staring down against Brock Lesnar. And I think it's going to be like, I've retired Cena, I've retired AJ, I could retire you. And within literally what we're used to seeing with Gunther being in the ring for an hour, I think he's going to be eliminated from the Rumble within a minute by Brock Lesnar. And I think that that's going to lead to Gunther coming back in the ring to attack Brock Lesnar. He'll get Brock eliminated, and they'll sort of like have like a beat down angle going on. I think late in the match, I mentioned Drew McIntyre eliminating Cody and Jacob Fatu. And I think as we get to the latter stages of the Rumble, yes, I have Seth as number 30. I think that our final four is going to be Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. And I think Seth Rollins will eliminate Bron Breakker from this match. And I also think that we could get down to the final two of Roman versus Seth. Now, Roman was my prediction, but I think Seth is going to win this Rumble.
I like it. It's a lot of fantasy booking to take in because there are so many variables and so many factors, and but the Bron, Seth, Roman thing is really good. Who did you say was the fourth one?
I had Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins as the final four.
Yeah, Bronson. I'll be honest with you, I can't see Bronson Reed being there. Do you know why? Because I would put Obafemi in that spot. Because I think there's a lot of people that would back that as well. Because I honestly, you could either have Roman and Seth cancelling each other out, or Bron and Seth cancelling each other out. And I think at the minute, I think it would leave Bron and Seth cancelling each other out, and then you get down to Roman and Obafemi. And I think if you want to put Obafemi on a pedestal, you put him in the final two of the Rumble with the biggest star in this, like, the last 5 years. And you set him up, and however the way that goes, like, look, spoiler, I'm going Obafemi wins. I think if there's ever going to be a time someone wins this bloody Royal Rumble from NXT, Obafemi's going to be the one. I think you put him in a match with Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, they tear the house down. Because I think they'll do some great stuff. Cody and Jacob are automatically going to be doing something probably towards WrestleMania. Roman is going to get cancelled. In fact, if you wanted to as well, you could even have Roman be tied in with that Seth thing as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's almost like a way to protect Roman from taking the loss. But look, if you want to get this guy over, you want to make a big impact, this guy comes in. I said this to you years ago. If Kenny Omega was ever going to join WWE, he should debut in the Rumble, win the Rumble, and then his second match should be the main event of WrestleMania. This should be exactly the same with Obafemi. This guy should come in, win the Rumble. He should, if he's going to have matches, give him jobbers, give him what's the equivalent of Spike Dudley and Crash Holly? That's who he should be fighting now. Like Akira Tozawa and Apollo Crews, whoever, absolutely destroying them, and then goes on to WrestleMania and wins the WWE Championship off of Drew McIntyre.
The thing is, I completely agree with the idea of Obafemi. He's the most believable NXT wrestler in history to win a Royal Rumble. You will never find another NXT superstar that is as much, believable winning a Royal Rumble match in his debut than you do with Obafemi. The most you'll find it is equal because Oba is that good. He's great on the mic. He's great in ring. The presentation of him as well. He looks so believable just being in the main event. Don't waste time. You don't need to. And if he was to win the Royal Rumble, I could just see his future. Do you remember when MVP was debuting back in 2006 and every show wanted him? Raw, SmackDown, he was at both. He was sitting in crowds. He got VIP boxes. They're doing everything to try and make sure he signs on the dotted line with them. And this is what Pearson Alders can do. Go for our champion. Our champion is the one to go for. And it can be a classic thing of like, do I want to win the world heavyweight title? I perhaps I looked up to a CM Punk. I could see myself beating a CM Punk and main eventing with him, but I've got that history with Drew, and I just can't let that go. And perhaps maybe it's over versus Drew at Mania. Like you said, the history is already there with what they did with John Cena's last show. All of a sudden, something that people were complaining about makes it look like a complete masterclass of a small bit of simple booking to annoy people on the night. It's actually made a main event out of WrestleMania. But
Ober's winning this. I've just realised Ober's winning this. Who screwed up his match with Cody Rhodes at Saturday Night's main event?
It's true.
Drew McIntyre. Yeah. I just realized my brain just tweaked it and went, oh my God, there is a story there. There is a reason why Obafemi should be winning this and challenging Drew McIntyre. Dude, sorry, I interrupt you, but you're right. Everything should be that way. But like, they don't even have to do that. Drew McIntyre already has a built-in story of Obafemi. He has a reason to win this match. Give me Obafemi. Give me the ruler.
So you've gone Oba. I've gone Seth.
100%.
If Seth doesn't appear, I've got to do this because I've done this in previous years where I've just gone, this person's going to win the Royal Rumble, not even turning up. They're still injured. They're not coming. And it's almost like, all right, that was a bit stupid to me. So I will give you
gives you caveat.
The caveat, I will go Roman. If it's not Seth making a return, it will be Roman. The reason I've now term-minded the Seth, yes, ESPN, I think, were very, in my opinion, silly with their questioning, but two,
to get clicks.
I do feel like that the Vision is going to dominate this Rumble, and it does feel a little bit like Roman. It's just like, I'm going to be at the Rumble declared. There's nothing there that's suggesting he's going to win it apart from just showing up. And I think that's going to rub people up the wrong way a little bit, even though it felt like it was believable and worked before. It's another one of those that people said, he could go through the chamber. Roman doesn't need the Rumble if he's going to have a match at Mania. So I'm going to say that this I think this is the last thing I'm going to say. I think WWE is already planning Unreal Season 3, and this is why Seth is coming back here and winning this Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I think for me, the only reason Seth comes back is to stop Bron Breakker being in the world title scene.
Yeah,
because ultimately, he's going to cancel him out, and they obviously want Bron to be the next big thing, but they want to do it the right way. And if you have Seth and Bron fighting it out to face Punk for that title, and then it ends up in a triple threat match, there's money there to be made, because you're going to have such a split crowd. You're going to have this Hall of Famer this like guaranteed Hall of Famer CM Punk. You're going to have the guy of the last 10 years that have been absolutely tearing up the business, and then you've got this guy that's the future of the business. Triple threat between those three for the World Heavyweight Championship. Yes, man. I don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be annoyed at Seth winning it. I just think he's purely in there to stop Bron from winning this. He's the caveat for Bron not winning this, and that's the only reason why I can't see Seth winning.
Absolutely. Now this might seem a bad phrase, really, because I don't want to annoy anybody by saying, but because it's kind of like the legend, the present, and the future. But Punk is almost like he's towards the end of his career. He's in the last couple of years. He's 47 years old, so it's almost like the past, the present of Seth, and the future of Bron Breakker.
Yes,
like
exactly.
A very clever way of doing a triple threat match for WrestleMania. But also, it can get you close to doing Seth versus Punk, which is something I know you wanted for the main event of WrestleMania. But time will tell. Sure. Time will tell how they will go and they will book it. But I just feel like the story is playing out on WWE and it might play in the Rumble match here.
Yeah, and I mean, look, as much as I want Seth versus Punk, and they should be the main event of WrestleMania because it's the history those two have, but I wouldn't be against throwing Bron in that scenario. Like you said, the past, the present, and the future. What a way to sell a main event for WrestleMania, right?
Absolutely. It could really be a selling point. The legend that is CM Punk, the future Hall of Famer, that is Seth Rollins, and the future of the business, or however you want to play it. Do you know what I mean? Like the current main event that Seth. Yeah. There's so much you can roll with it. I think it works really, really well. I'm interested for it. We have to do another Mania predictions video, I think, with matches after Rumble here, because my cards changed significantly since the last time we did it 3 months ago. Bob says Punk to be in the Rumble at number 1 and Cody number 2. Can you imagine Punk trying to go for a second title? CD here says Roman Reigns wins the Rumble from number 25. But yeah, what's your number? I mean, obviously mine was set from 30, but where does Oba come in for you at the number Rumble in the Rumble?
12.
Like it.
Because I think he's got a no. I'm gonna go a bit higher. I'm gonna say like 17 or 18. I think he's gonna come in and he's gonna clear out. He's gonna get like 4 or 5 eliminations at least. And I think there needs to be a number of people in there, like for example, The Vision or someone. Do you know what I mean? Or whoever, or just a couple of guys that he can get rid of.
I like it. Do you think Seth will come out with a new theme song? No chance. He's got his same theme song. It'll be a waste to debut a new one here.
Yeah, not until he repackages himself as his next gimmick.
Everyone does the woes too much. You wouldn't get rid of it, especially if you want him being cheered at this point. I love this question, though. What if Austin Theory is the double agent for Seth Rollins and Austin Theory helps Rollins attack Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Logan Paul? That would be a great way of execution to do that in that Rumble match. Say, for example, Roman comes in. Let's say Seth is at number 30. Let's say Roman comes in. It's 1-on-4 versus the Vision. And then it ends up being the Shield versus the Vision because Rollins comes out next. And that's the moment that Theory aligns himself next to Reigns and Rollins. And they attack the Vision. That would be really fun.
What an underwhelming Dean Ambrose replacement.
I wasn't trying to go down that far, yeah. To be fair, yeah, and he's in Shield gear as well. Weirdly enough, Austin Theory. I don't know why he's done that. But, yeah,
that would be. You might as well just put Chris Jericho in there or something, or even like I don't know, someone else, just someone who's probably got a bit more heritage. Like Austin Theory is your Dean Ambrose. Nah, I can't see it, man. But I like the idea of it, but it doesn't work for me, brother.
Maybe just the idea that Theory's though been helping Rollins all along. That's kind of what people's been going on with the curb stomp being done by Theory. So I like the idea of it nonetheless because then it adds something extra. But Theory does fit well into this group. I've kind of got used to him being in the Vision now, and I'm on side of it. I think
he's the jobber in the squad, man. He's just there to take pinfalls.
It's better than not being on TV though, or politely tagging. Well, I'm a big fan. I think Grayson Waller's a talented guy, but I think A-Town Down Under was a bit of a waste for both of them. So
Grayson Waller has a higher potential than Austin Theory, in my opinion.
I mean, they both have high ceilings, in my personal opinion. It's just the fact that neither have been showcased in the right way. I mean, to be alongside the New Day is great.
That's me. But I mean, in terms of character work, Grayson Waller is such a more entertaining person to watch than Austin Theory. Austin Theory's thing is, that's it. Just point fingers down. That's his whole shtick. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I know I can agree with that. I just don't think that Theory's been presented in the right way for a long time, and I think that just doesn't help the situation. I think it could be better for him. CD says Rollins eliminating Roman Reigns will continue their story of Roman not being able to beat Seth on the big stage, so it would be perfect if that was to happen. They did Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan versus Edge for the championship when Edge won the Rumble in 2021. So WWE always finds a way. That's very true. They do usually find a way if they want to.
Edge should have won that.
He should have won that. I agree. It's Seth Rollins because it was a decade to the day since he got rid of since he let go of the championship as well. So it would have worked perfectly. If Rollins returns his win the Rumble, there's no way he loses. That's my feeling on that as well. Seth Rollins' injury is real this time. He could be lying about the timeline of the injury. That's what I think is the situation here. They might talk about that on season 3 of Unreal. Marcel here says, do you think Chris Jericho wants to be there? I would like to think he does. Or do you think Chris Jericho will be there? Yes, I do think he will be there. CD says, I feel like Bafemi will be king of the ring this year. I feel the Royal Rumble might be a bit too early, but you never know. WWE could.
Blasphemy against the ruler.
I think Oba's in for a big 2026 regardless. I think that's one thing for sure. Right then, I think we're going to wrap that up there then. Massive thank you to everyone that's been watching the video. Hopefully you can hit the like button, share with a friend, subscribe as well, all that good stuff. And when there's a potential to watch a show live, there's always a potential there could be a live review afterwards. Now, I'm not promising anything. NXT was already told me he's unavailable for that, so that's fair. If I'm awake, I may do it because there's no better time to come on in instantly after a show. We never get the chance to do it. But
that's very true.
I'm not promising it, but if I'm awake, I will come. Even if I've got one eye open, I will come on. We'll see the situation, how things play out on Saturday. But one thing's for sure, I think there's going to be a lot of talking points coming out at the end of the Royal Rumble. And one thing is for sure, if it ain't on Saturday, me and NXT will be here with a review. So you're going to want to come back for that review. So make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. And if you can't wait for more content and you want to see myself in NXT, then why not tune in tomorrow as well? Because we're going to go and do a rewind. Royal Rumble 2001. You voted for it. We have watched it. Well, Nick Steve's watched it. I'm going to watch it in a moment. And yeah, we're going to be reviewing that tomorrow. So make sure to come and join us. It should be a fun time. CD is changing his prediction to Seth Rollins. I've got a bit of the convincing there. I've convinced him that CD, just don't bet any money on my friend in case I'm wrong. But look after yourselves and each other. And yeah, we're going to see you for the next one. And enjoy the Royal Rumble live this Saturday. Take care.